But yeah, I believe this is in the elimination side, round 1 of elimination side. So this should be quite interesting as we get into game 1 on Small Fortress of Lions.
Yeah, I mean, we're going up against, we don't see Magyar very often, just because as far as greatsword characters go, just doesn't have, that's gonna be stock, I think. Yeah, he can't get back from there. That's kind of slow, right? Has 4 base speed, which, like, honestly, 4 base is considered kind of average, but the more that I've played Brawlhalla, the more that I think you need 5 minimum. But also, his SIGs just aren't, like, crazy busted. That down SIG's really good. When we just saw miss there, he can do it again. Yeah. It used to be a lot slower, but over the course of like a year or so, Magyar kind of got like sneakily patched to get like some buffs to his SIG. So now they're not like god awful, but still not like busted.
Okay, again?
Yep.
Yeah. Third time's the charm. Third time's the charm as he just holds it, waiting for the recovery from Navarro there. Super smart. Yeah, I mean, we talk about it all the time. I like how Neeko opted for Mix over like the D-Light Sair in one of the edge guard situations. He just went for D-Light Sidelight. And I was like, oh, okay. I'm so used to seeing D-Light Sair. But then he was able to get like a better position to set up that D-Sig edge guard. So...
Oof, this kind of hurts. Getting kind of stuck in the corner here, having a tough time getting back to center stage. But Neeko really just trying their best to really rack up that damage. Granted, you're so behind at this point, right? You got a whole stock here. This greatsword is starting to cook, but it's a little too late. And this matchup can be a little bit awkward on the side of the greatsword as well. Just because the lance really does shine in the horizontal plane. And that's kind of where the greatsword also wants to play as well. But you get outranged a lot of the time.
Oh, nice dodge up. Yeah, and I feel like Lance can play a little more aerial, which is definitely what Greatsword doesn't want you to do. They have some anti-airs, but like the bread and butters are gonna come from those grounded strings. And then Lance is just like hovering above you, using Lance Sair, Lance Dare, just like right outside those threat zones. So it can be annoying. And speaking of threat zones, just Navarro navigating between those hammered D-lights. Also a pretty grounded weapon in a way. So yeah, it's definitely looking rough.
Yeah, there's a couple scenarios there where it's like, all right, I think the answer is just to do like hammer can be a little weird in the stacked area. Because it's like, oh, like you're trying to stomp, you're trying to end light, is it gonna hit, is it not gonna hit? And a lot of the times the answer is to just jump down air. And that would have gotten Neeko the stock there in that last exchange, but still would have had to have burned through another one. So a lot of work to be done. Hammer's just a hard weapon, dude. It's just a hard weapon to be good with.
It's really just kind of diff when Hammer is cooking. And I mean, sometimes we did see Teros do some work in the EU side, but I mean, yeah, it can be really hard if somebody's playing good neutral to get those hammer hits. And Navarro just kind of navigating very, very... Oh, okay, they both want one thing, and it's D-Light.
Oof, there we go,
nice.
Okay. Yeah, the hammer diddle, not one you get to see very often, but we're going to fish for, as you said, that D-Light, that stomp. And then side light is going to be a very strong, rounded neutral option for the hammer as well. You can see they're both kind of spamming it at each other.
Yeah, I guess it's very high range and can kind of throw off spacing for that D-Light. Ooh, okay.
And now we're seeing some N6 get spammed out here. Neeko tries to close out that stock, but that string isn't going to work in that situation. Good spot dodge on the side light as well. Have to burn the recovery. No, not going to use it. Nice down air as a punish. But we're going to have to back off here. Stomp, not going to get it. Stomp again, not going to get it. But we are going to keep looking.
Oh my god. Navarro just doing such a good job of avoiding exactly the hit confirms that Neeko is looking for.
Oh, Neeko is just kind of mashing here, trying to find this KO. I think, honestly, you just do, like, Magyar's a really good down sig on Greatsword that you can kind of mash that. Oh, you're going to lose your stock here, maybe.
Oh, yeah. Navarro with the 2-stock lead. And on Lance, that Navarro's neutral was already so good, like unarmed and with hammer, and then you add Lance to the mix with that additional mobility thrown in. I feel like it's gonna be very hard for Neeko.
Yeah,
But
Neeko sticking to the hammer too. It's like, I don't know, you don't have like the high string potential. The X factor only exists really off stage with this weapon, and we haven't really been proven to believe that like Neeko's hammer is gonna be able to do it. And so I think this one might just be chalk. I think Navarro kind of got this one in the bag.
yeah, Navarro showing kind of that they're getting outclassed, or Navarro can outclass Neeko in the hammer ditto and in the Lance matchup. So,
Weapon throw.
Wait.
Should have weapon throw. Just kind of sat there. Okay, the ground pound's gonna do it, but like you had so much time to stop that from happening, and you just kind of wait and allow your opponent to recover. Definitely not what you want to have happen here. But Neeko trying to make the comeback happen. Magyar does have extremely high defense, but Scarlet has extremely high force. And so one sig, one down sig probably on hammer is gonna do it. There it is.
Very, very aggressive, and it was working out, but Navarro just needed that one hit. And gonna get it. Quick 2-0 lead. But I was liking what Neeko was cooking. Definitely was showing some stuff. And I guess the hammer was the weapon of choice. We were seeing way more hammer mix than greatsword mix, which is actually quite interesting. Greatsword is the more stringy weapon.
Yeah. It is also just like a little, what's the word? Things have just been a little slow. You know, things have been a little slow. For South America, granted, we are like at the very, very like beginning part of this bracket, and so like it makes sense. But like kind of what we're used to from this region is like much faster, better spacing. But these players are just, you know, less experienced at kind of playing just in tournament and at a higher level. So you can kind of see some of their. It's much clearer what they're not doing, right?
Yeah, and we also got, you know, double hammer, lance, greatsword. Greatsword can be quick in moments and bursts, but, you know, very, very slow-paced neutral. Looking for that one opening. Okay, Lance there avoiding the stomp yet again is Navarro. Super, super solid. Oh my god.
Bad.
Yeah.
Huge string here for Navarro.
A lot of pressure there with the lance. Just tosses the lance, still trying to continue some pressure. Down there on top of the greatsword. Yeah, just not having an answer to this lance control. Oh my god, stacked on him.
This greatsword. I don't know. It looks a little flaily to me.
Yeah.
And it's like every time, like the mix with the greatsword revolves off of like reading the dodges, right? Or like going for 50-50s, but we're not really seeing that from Neeko at all. Similarly, from both of these players, there's no dash landing, really, and like that's like a really big deal. It's the reason if you're watching this and you're like, there we go, we have a little bit there. If you're watching, you're like, why do these players look so slow? It's because they're not dash landing constantly, and so it's just like it's really easy to track their movement, which like isn't a bad thing if you're like playing against them, obviously, but it just means that like it's so much easier to know how to hit them.
All right, yeah, just one layer of neutral that you don't have to think about. But yeah, I mean, I'm liking the way Navarro's playing. Just super solid around the threat zones of hammer. Another down air coming in. Oh, yeah, the D-Sig not working out. D-Light Sayer. Okay, can the greatsword cook?
Just
finally
smashes out a string, yeah. Just lets it rip. Hasn't really used some of the other SIGs on that greatsword. I don't think we've seen any SIG come out. And then on this hammer, it's been pretty much exclusively the down SIG, which is like a little bit interesting. There we go, a little bit of cooking, but
it's so interesting. This is like a reverse of what I'd normally expect. Like using the hammer to build up damage and then the greatsword to get the knockouts. Like, oh my god, wait a minute.
That might be Neeko's game. Yeah, you can't make it here. Neeko manages to get one. The hammer is able to cook, I guess. Yeah, he was just kind of able to get stomps into side lights and then kind of rinse repeat that situation. And then from there, it just led to a lot of damage over time. I mean, that's what Hammer is good for, right? And so,
Just,
all right, we'll take it.
I mean, yeah, super powerful Hammer play. I think, yeah, there's the string he mashed out. But finally getting a read on Navarro's movement. There he catches a dodge, or jump right after a dodge. But now we're on Air Temple. Let's see if Navarro can avoid. I think this has been a staple this weekend, at least, versus Greatsword. These plats can be pretty good for dealing with some of the ranges Greatsword likes to threaten. So, Navarro... Oh my god, that's just it!
All right.
Yeah, I mean, very clean string after getting that dodge. Just super, super powerful. And Greatsword getting shut down per usual. Going back to the hammer is Neeko. Oh my god. It's all the Lance show. Oh! A Sair? Is that gonna be it? Oh, okay, the weapon toss saved his life. Brutal.
Wow. Yeah, Navarro having a rough time.
Yeah, this is a Lance combo video right now.
It happened so quick.
I know. It almost doesn't seem like Lance. Oh my god. Is this canon?
It's like, if anything, Cannon is like the kind of swagged Rocket Lance. Rocket Lance was like the first weapon in the game that would like kind of do those 0 to death strings. And then Cannon came a little bit after, kind of jacking the swag a little bit, but... Oh! Wow.
Oh. Yeah, Navarro. Okay, managing to live here. But those Lance Sairs are so good for recoveries. Oh, and the 3-stock? Obliteration.
Jeez.
Obliteration there.
That was pretty rough. That was pretty rough. Yeah, I mean, Neeko finally got a game, and then like immediately afterwards, it was just a body bag. But
great sig coverage, and then getting out there with the Sair super